which is really, really random. And I was like floating the idea in my head on Sunday night, and by like 9:10 on Monday morning, I had booked the appointment. So yeah, I don't know what possessed me to book it in. I just kind of felt like I should give it a try. I've tried hypnosis before, but only in the sense that I've gone on YouTube and downloaded some hypnosis recordings and used them. I have found they're good in, like, they've been helpful sometimes they haven't been helpful. I did used to use them a lot when I was pregnant, and if I needed to go to the hospital for like an ultrasound or a checkup or something, I would listen to hypnosis recordings in the car and close my eyes. Obviously I wasn't the one driving, and yeah, I just always found that to be a really helpful way to get places, but I haven't sort of needed to use them like that in a while. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I haven't really done hypnosis before professionally, so I'm pretty excited about it, but I'm also not expecting it to be hugely different from just the recordings that I've listened to. I'm not expecting to like go under any kind of spell or anything. When I told my dad that I needed him to watch Lila for me while I went to this appointment, he's like, are you going to be okay to drive home afterwards? I'm like, yes, Dad. Like, I don't know what you think hypnosis is, but it's definitely not what you think it is. So I think there's some outdated views on hypnosis here that I need to crash. Sorry, I have a really bad cold at the moment with that really scratchy cough. So the guy on the phone that I booked this appointment with sounded really cool. I just did a Google search for like hypnosis places near me, and this was one of the ones that came up, and so I just thought, okay, this is the one I'll go with. I didn't really do any research into it or put any real thought into it other than that. So hopefully it's good, but yeah, the way he sounded on the phone and just the approach that he takes seems to sort of align with the things that I think as well, so it should be good. I guess the only reason I didn't do it back when I was severely housebound was like because I was severely housebound, so I couldn't, the idea of me actually going out to get to an appointment to be hypnotized was just way out of the question. So now that I'm able to get out and about a little bit better, I just thought, why not? And one of the things I've been noticing as well with my anxiety is that I have been doing so much work internally and externally on trying to manage my anxiety, and I read all the books and I do all the exercises, and I feel like I'm doing all the right things, but I noticed that if I'm like getting ready to go somewhere, I won't have even thought anything anxious yet, but all of a sudden I'll just snap into this anxious thinking, and it's kind of like when you step into a movie that's already been playing for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like all my anxious thoughts have already been on loop in my subconscious brain for so long that by the time it actually kicks in my conscious brain, it's really hard to talk myself out of it because I've already been unconsciously thinking it for the last hour or two. So I guess I'm just kind of hoping that with this hypnosis that it can kind of like get into my subconscious brain and make some changes, because so far really it's been my conscious brain that's been doing everything and been doing all the hard work and going to the therapy sessions, and I don't think there's been a whole lot that my subconscious brain has really tackled yet. At least that's what I'm hoping. So it's going to be like a two-pronged attack on my anxiety. And hopefully, I'm not looking to this as like the cure-all for my agoraphobia, but I think that it's not going to do any kind of harm, surely. I don't think there's any way that this could possibly make me worse than what I was. So let's try it. Let's give it a go. I'm not even as nervous as I usually would be driving here. I think I'm just like excited to do this. And oh man, that's weird. It's long time since I've been genuinely excited about something rather than nervous, which is such a strange place to be. I almost don't remember what this feels like. It's so strange. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. But I feel like all jittery and fluttery and all nervous, but in a good way, not in like I'm gonna shit my pants kind of way. Okay, wish me luck. And I will film when I get back in the car and let you know how it's all gone. I don't know why I'm so nervous and excited. So, wow, is pretty much what I have to say about that. We finished the session. I just drove further than I have been in years, just for fun. Yeah, God, it was amazing. Like, not amazing in the sense that like weird things happened, like, you know, I didn't go under or anything, which is not what I was expecting anyway, so that was okay. But it was weird because he asked me questions in the beginning, which some of the questions were like pretty standard questions that you get asked at therapy sessions and things, so I kind of already had like my scripted answers ready. But then some of the questions I really had to think about the answer, and I kind of surprised myself with the answer. And yeah, he sort of like gave me a little like just impression, I guess, from what he got from my questions, and wow, that kind of made me want to cry. It just made me get really emotional, and I just thought, God, like, is that, you know, the snapshot of who I am right now? Because that's painful to hear. Yeah, then he started the session, and when I get really uncomfortable, I smile. It's like, it'll be the death of me, I swear to God. It's like when I'm having an argument with someone, like a very serious argument, I'll start smiling and laughing, and it's not because I think it's funny, but it's because I'm uncomfortable, and it has got me into trouble so many times. And like when I used to be annoyed, like when I was younger, and I'd be having a tantrum and like yelling at my parents for whatever reason, I would start laughing, and it'd be so frustrating because I'd be desperately trying to be angry and get my message across, but I would be laughing. So yeah, anyway, smiling when you're uncomfortable is not the most fun thing to do, but it's something that I do, and I kept doing that at the start of the session, and it was annoying me because I was so aware of it, and I was trying really hard to just close my eyes and relax, but I kept wanting to crack into a smile, and I was just like too aware of myself at that point. But then he kept going, and yeah, like, look, I was awake the whole time. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't somewhere else, but I was very relaxed, and there was no point where I got really uncomfortable. Actually, no, that's a lie. At the beginning, I was very, very uncomfortable, just because of how aware of my body I was, and I was finding it really hard to calm my anxiety, but I felt safe as well, so it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't an all-out panic attack kind of situation. And then, yeah, he just said some things that really like resonated with me, and I started to smile, I started to laugh, and you know, he cracked some jokes. Honestly, afterwards, like during the towards the end of the session, he was talking, and I was just thinking, like, I bet you could drive here right now, I bet you could drive there right now, and I was just thinking of all the things that I could do, and yeah, I just had this tremendous feeling of relief and release, and just like I didn't have to be afraid. And it was like, it was one of those sort of like breakthrough moments, which I feel like I've had little ones before, like throughout my anxiety journey, but I've never had ones that have sort of really made me want to cry, and have just felt like there was a weight being lifted off my chest, and just feeling like I understand, like I fully, completely, wholeheartedly, whole bodily understand right now, and that was a really nice feeling. He says that I don't need another session. I said to him, I hope I don't. I guess I'm not gonna say, I don't want to say like the proof is in the pudding, because like I don't want to be like, oh well, we'll see if this works, because it's all down to me really. say is I feel fucking fantastic, and I highly recommend for everyone. I'm so excited. I don't think I'll have enough footage to make this like a video of its own, so I might tack it on to the hypnosis video. But this morning I was like, I'm gonna drive somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm gonna drive. And the dream was to drive to the Yarra Valley, which is about 30 kilometers from my house, I think, roughly. Which may not seem like very far to some people, but to me it's huge. Like 2 years ago, it was unimaginable being able to drive there. But I thought, you know what, if I can just drive a quarter of the way there, I'll be happy. So I just got in the car and I drove. And I was driving and I drove to this sort of memorial tower. And I was like, okay, this is sort of quarter of the way and I'm feeling all right. I'll just keep driving. And so I drove and I thought, I'll drive to this place called Sugarloaf Reservoir, which I've been to once before, and I sort of kind of vaguely remembered where it was. So I was like, I'll drive there and then I'll drive home. And I was driving there and I saw the sign for it, but I never saw the turnoff. So I missed that. And so I just kept driving and I was like, okay, we'll just see where I end up. Anyway, long story short, I ended up at the Yarra Valley, which is just so huge. I can't even tell you, like, oh my God, it was just crazy. And we went to this chocolate shop and me and Lila had a hot chocolate and a baby chino and a macaron, I never know how to say that. And it was just the craziest thing I've done in such a long time. And I felt fine on the drive home. It was just the drive there that was really scary. And I would have loved to have filmed the whole exposure session, but I was concentrating very hard on the roads because people drive really fast up that way, and they're just one lane roads, and you know, I was distracted enough already with just my anxiety, so I didn't want to film and be talking and, you know, probably kill myself and Lila driving. So yeah, but I just wanted to update and say that I have been able to do something I haven't been able to do in 4 years, so I'm stoked as.